Leave it all on the court. Leave it all on the field. You gotta give it 100. That's from your head to your heel. This is the time that you want it. It's time to jump in and run it. Let's get to jumping and running into securing the deal. This ain't pretend, it's for real. Turn up the temp just a little. With stakes so high,
he's gonna make the throw. It's a touchdown.
Good looking for him. Long throw as always. Mike Evans, he scores again.
Mix it up for the combine. Push it to the limit. How I give it at the combine. Bet I blow your mind when it's lights, camera, showtime.
And welcome back to the Combine on a very somber day. It was a rough weekend. Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce, and the Devil are heading back to the Super Bowl for the second year in a row. And it was just a tough watch. But to tell us what happened and how it happened, here's Elijah McClary with the 2-minute drill.
Thank you, Ty. Starting off with the first game of the day, Commanders at Eagles. Now, Saquon Barkley in his first year at the Eagles. First team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, almost broke a 40-year record, and now does this to the Commanders. This is his second touchdown of the game, still in the first quarter. Jaden Daniels connects with Scary Terry for a passing touchdown, which made it look like this game would be pretty promising. But the Eagles started to pull away after this out route to A.J. Brown in the corner. Zane Gonzalez makes this 42-yarder heading into half. Felt like Washington had hope here, but they did pull away after this Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. Saquon Barkley with his third rushing touchdown on the day. Eagles win 55-23. Heading over to Bills at Chiefs, the greatest rivalry. Starting the game off with Kareem Hunt with a 10-play, 90-yard drive to finish that off. James Cook would respond, though, taking the lead 10-7. KC would respond, though. Xavier Worthy, Bills traded up. They traded down, give the Chiefs pick, and he does that. Patrick Mahomes' first rushing touchdown of the day. They would respond, though, right before half. Mac Hollins' deep touchdown. Great throw, great catch right there. James Cook's second touchdown of the game. Takes the lead 22-21. They would miss a 2-pointer. Patrick Mahomes' first career postseason game with 2 rushing touchdowns. They would respond, though, to tie it. Curtis Samuel in the back of the end zone. And then Harrison Butker with a game winner to win the game 32-29. Bills had more total yards, won the turnover battle, and time possession. But Chiefs found a way 32-29.
Welcome back to the Combine. Kathleen Moore's joining us. So say hello to the camera, Kathleen Moore.
Hi, camera.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ty?
I'm not good, but we're gonna start on a high note because you're wearing the 4th most attractive quarterback's jersey in the NFL today, behind Baker Mayfield, among others. Jalen Hurts had himself quite a game. What, 3 rushing touchdowns? Saquon, 3 rushing touchdowns?
Yes.
6 rushing touchdowns between the two of them. Good Lord Almighty. How does this happen? What did the Eagles do so right to shut down Jaden Daniels when he was as hot as he was?
They capitalize off of these big mistakes, Ty. I mean, 4 turnovers from Washington, and the Eagles capitalized off of every single one of them. Every turnover led to a touchdown, led to a score, and that's how you get such a high-scoring game like this. And, Jaden Daniels was not the problem in this game. His team let him down.
Not at all. Absolutely, his team let him down. Luke McCaffrey with that costly fumble. Denami Brown with that costly fumble. Austin Eckler with the costly fumble.
And, you can see all these guys on the sidelines just kicking themselves, too, because the Commanders haven't seen a stage like this in decades.
Yeah. And, what really, really hurts is when, shut up. What are we doing? Don't make this harder than it has to be. What are we doing? Closer to half, Eagles score. Commanders get the ball back. Minute 40 left on the clock, right? You can make something happen. You got time. And they fumble. Austin Eckler drops the ball. It's punched out. Eagles pick it up, drive down, and score again. So when Commanders thought maybe there's a chance it's a 1-score game when we go into half, Eagles do get ball back. But we got some life going in. The worst possible scenario takes place. Eckler fumbles, Eagles score again. And all of a sudden, you're treading thin water.
Very thin. And
it's bad.
you look at the time of possession, it is so close. The problem with the Commanders, they took so long to get down the field, and then nothing happened from it. The Eagles' defense, it's stellar.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say the best defense in the NFL right now. Which
I wouldn't argue it.
Right. So, I got a sound effect. Okay. But, oh my gosh, threw me off. But, I mean, the defense is so good that they are able to get these stops in before they get right into field goal range. And, like, they stop them just far enough back, but it takes them so long to crawl down the field.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles, their time of possession, 30 minutes and 31 seconds. I mean, it's just nonstop getting down the field, quick, fast rushes from Saquon Barkley. These quick spurts of energy are just, they're electric from him.
Yeah, they kind of, jumped on the same train that the Lions had with, a couple good pickups here and there. Obviously Lions with Davenport, but on the flip side, Eagles, right? Picking up, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, outside linebacker. Who's the guy that they just grabbed or they re-signed? This is going to bother me. He was on the Jets. Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff. And then getting a rookie cornerback same way. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, guys like that. They're
great.
Really good additions in the offseason.
I mean, they're raw.
I love it. But so, speaking of the defense, before we get off that topic, you know who's a monster? Zach Bond.
Zach Bond!
Zach Bond is so good.
I love that guy.
I didn't hate on him, but I didn't give him the props he deserved. He's really good.
Defensive Player of the Year nomination. I think he's got that.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's a good category. Like, it's
It is a good
stacked. But
category,
I think he has a great shot, especially. Are the votes counted for that already?
I don't think so, no. Not yet.
Especially after the performance against the Commanders. I'm going to the Super Bowl. I bet he'll perform well. I think it's going to be a shoe-in.
And we'll talk about the Eagles more over towards Super Bowl, but before we get off that, Commanders. They go home, tough loss. Jaden Daniels feeling it, you can see. Yeah, they're headed to Cancun. Say hi to the Giants and Cowboys while you're there.
Yeah.
But they got a real bright future. I really like that team. Jaden Daniels, hot rookie year, did something real great. Dan Quinn, phenomenal first-year head coach.
Yeah.
You take what D'Amico Ryans did last year, multiply it.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn did more this year than I think Ryans did last year.
Yeah.
Crazy. They've done really, really well. Someone in division, how do you feel about the Commanders going forward? How much of a threat are they going to be in the NFC East?
I mean, I'm not all too concerned about Jaden Daniels next year because it's a sophomore slump. Coaches are going to have him figured out for a good portion of next year. I mean, rookie year, he's coming out. They're like, oh, he's just a kid. We're going to call our plays the exact same way we always do. And they did not figure him out this year, but I think they're going to have all this film to watch, and they're going to watch how he plays, and they're going to figure him out for the second year, and he's going to have to find a way to adjust. And it's just a matter of that's what makes a great quarterback and a good quarterback in the NFL, if they can get past people figuring out their playing style and diversify how they play.
I just hate this kind of situation because something that was brought up was, and I mean, this is for Jaden Daniels, but a lot of the other quarterbacks that I'm looking at, because Jaden Daniels is a really bright future ahead of him.
I agree.
But for other quarterbacks in the NFC, there was a stat line I saw that of teams that lost in the Super Bowl, or starting quarterbacks, I should say, that lost in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has become the first to do it again since 1990, Jim Kelly.
Wow.
With the Buffalo Bills. He's the first loser of a Super Bowl to make an appearance again. So guys like Brock Purdy, who lost. Tough sledding. Guys like Jared Goff, who lost with the Rams back in the day. Tough sledding, pal. You're not going again. But before we move on, props to Jalen Hurts. Tough for the other NFC quarterbacks. Maybe Jaden Daniels make something happen next year. Before we move on, NFC East. Okay, I know you see the jersey I'm wearing. Hey, this isn't the Dallas Cowboys. Actually, it is. But, what's that? Is that an NFL logo? No, it's not. What's that right there? Is that an NFL logo? No. I don't know if you can read it from there. It says Creed. It says Creed on it. Maybe the single, Scott Stapp, can you read that? S-T-A-P-P, baby. Maybe the best singer to ever live. I don't support the Cowboys, but I very much so support Scott Stapp and the boys over with Creed.
Speaking
of the Cowboys, Kathleen, I had to make sure everybody knew that I was not, on the other side of the fence.
Thank you.
But you hate that side of the fence.
So
you
bad.
Discriminate on that side of the fence.
Truly.
Yeah. So, Kathleen Moore was building up steam. I thought she was gonna pop, dude. she has been raging over this team, the Dallas Cowboys, for quite some time. Kathleen Moore, after weeks of speculation, tell me, the producers and the people, what we've been waiting to hear.
I mean, I just found this out very recently. The Eagles scored more points in the NFC Championship game than the Cowboys have in 17 games. More touchdowns in 17 games. The Cowboys have scored 6. 7-touchdown game.
So,
This is so good.
so the Cowboys just suck, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Hey, how
They're
do you
awful.
feel about them hiring Brian Schottenheimer and getting rid of Mike McCarthy?
Jerry Jones is so ridiculous. Keeping it in house when the house is awful and on fire, like, what's wrong with you? Idiot.
That place is going to crash and burn.
No, they have so much money that they can keep extinguishing flames for however long they want.
It's tough because, I mean, that Dallas Fire Department's going to be busy
Yeah.
trying to put
Okay,
out
I think
whatever
we need
Jerry
to
Jones
stop
starts.
the fire metaphor. It's gone too far.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we forgot. Hey, that stuff's going on in L.A. We don't like that. You know, here at the Combine, we do not support what's happening in Los Angeles. We want that place to settle out, okay?
Yeah.
You know.
For Sean
Yep.
McVay.
Yeah, for Sean McVay. We really like Sean McVay
Sean
a lot,
McVay
actually. That guy's
only.
awesome. Him, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, the boys over there. Real cool. Elijah McClary, you know, I know you feel the same way over there in the producer booth. You know, you like that a lot, right?
Puka, we have to include him.
Yeah, he's got to turn the mic on. He's going to give a statement.
Yeah, I was just thinking, as an Eagles fan, you should be happy about the Cowboys' new head coach.
Yeah, Brian
Oh, yeah,
Schottenheimer.
100%.
You should be extremely excited for
Yeah,
that.
of course I am.
I can't believe they brought a guy in house with Jerry Jones and all his money.
So ridiculous.
You know, You'd
They
really
could have had
think.
anyone they wanted because
Yeah.
that's what the Cowboys do. All they care about is money. All the players there, they don't care about the love of the game. It's all about the money.
Only the Cowboys would do something like searching for Deion Sanders, but ending up with an in-house OC.
So ridiculous.
They would do something like that.
Deion was this close,
an OC
too.
that didn't call plays, too.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy
Schottenheimer
called the
did
offense.
not call
Yeah.
plays.
No,
yeah.
no.
Exactly right.
I mean, the offense was one of the big problems with Dallas this season. You promote the play caller to run the entire freaking operation?
So now
Crazy.
Dallas and, you know, New York, the bums of the bums, decided they wanted to leave. Okay, you know, they're garbage. They decided to take a one-way trip to Cancun and never return. The NFC East is going to be a Philly-Washington division for probably the next 5 years,
Yeah, and
which is kind of awesome.
I really like the Commanders too. Like, despite them being an in-division rival, I really have a lot of respect for the Commanders and their coaching staff. And, you know, I don't have a big problem with Dan Quinn either. I think that he's a fine coach. I didn't mind him in Atlanta, even though I'm also a Panthers fan. Like, mad
Yeah.
respect for this entire organization, honestly. They've been through the ringer, so.
They have. But so Eagles move on. Washington goes home. Flip side, we got the AFC. The match of the ages. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. Josh Allen comes into this game 0-3 against Kansas City in the NFL playoffs. Right? He said, "Hey, my luck's turning around. You know, I'm dating Haley Steinfeld now. What have I got to lose? A lot, apparently. Okay, they lost again. He's 0-4. Kansas City did what Kansas City does best, and,
Right.
you know, the refs followed suit. I'm not going to say that the refs did everything, okay? I'm taking a big step back and saying, actually, you know, those refs might... Should they be in prison?
I mean, I don't think it's actually illegal, but we got to put some respect on Andy Reid's name, you know?
You have to. You have to.
can't-
You have to.
Because, you know, as much as we want to say that it was the refs, it was the refs. Andy Reid is one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history.
Yeah, and I'm not putting it solely on the refs. You know, obviously we embellish. It's a fun show, but
yeah, you know, we have fun here.
there were, and we do have fun here. There were the few calls that, you know, got me scratching my head. The
fourth down conversion.
the fourth down
rough.
conversion. I saw that they crossed. That was a rough thing to watch. The Xavier Worthy catch, the ball bobbled on the ground, should have been incomplete.
Can I say
Patriots.
something about that Worthy play?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry. But people are so focused on that they don't realize the Bills had a defensive holding, PI. So it was a free first down no matter what. They're so focused on was it a catch or not that the Chiefs had a free first down that same play no matter
Was
what.
it PI or was it holding, though? Because if it was PI, it's a spot foul. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if it's holding, it's a 5-yard automatic first down.
No, it was automatic first down. It was defensive holding. It was on Hollywood Brown.
Okay.
the
Well, I
middle of
mean,
the
like,
field.
on one hand, for defensive holding, yes, it gives them another set of downs.
Right.
But maybe they hold them, you know. Not gonna say anything. Maybe they hold them. Instead, Chiefs get the ball on the 2-yard line. I mean, I don't want to point out these individual things and say, hey, all these things, that's the reason the Bills lost. That's not the reason the Bills lost. Pat Mahomes did what Pat Mahomes does best. He's a tremendous quarterback.
Great weapons on that team.
Absolutely. I can't believe the Bills let them get Xavier Worthy. But all I'm pointing out is that, I don't think this game is on Josh Allen.
No, not at
I don't
all.
think necessarily all in its entirety the game is on the Bills' defense, and I don't think the game is on the refs either. I just think you really have to play a perfect game if you want to beat Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Right.
And the Bills did not do that.
I also think that in a game like this, like, it can go either way depending on the day.
Yeah.
Like, I think if they played this game again tonight, it would have a different outcome than it did yesterday.
Yeah. It's tough sledding. And then, the biggest heartbreaking thing was that last play when they sent almost a 0 blitz at Josh Allen on 4th and 5.
That was crazy.
And, you really feel for tight ends right now because they're getting a bad rap. Last week, Mark Andrews with a drop on the 2-point conversion that would have won them the game. This week, with Dalton Kincaid, that ball hitting him in the hands on that 4th and 5. If he catches that game goes on, likely to overtime. He drops it, hits him in the hands. There was that little question that I had that really upset me, which, Elijah, I want to open this conversation with you, actually. I want your opinion on this. On that play, Josh Allen throws that ball up, and a flag is thrown.
Right.
The ball falls incomplete, and they pick the flag up.
Change their mind.
If they had announced that it was an offensive holding and the penalty was declined, turnover on downs, I'm okay with that. But why would they pick it up if the ball falls incomplete? Like, do you think that was intentional, or do you think that just was a set of circumstances, that just happened? Coincidence?
I think, people are going to pick apart any play if the Chiefs won. They're going to find 100%. Any reason. I don't know. Kind of put me on the spot, but you saw Deion Dawkins and Chris Jones right after that play. They're kind of like chit-chatting.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure. Do we know what that penalty would have been on?
We don't.
It wasn't roughing the passer.
No. All we know is that it was Tony and Jim, correct? Or was it Tom and Kevin Burkhardt?
No, it was Tony Romo and Jim Nate.
It was Tony Romo and Jim. Well, Jim said, I'm getting word there is a flag on the field. We've confirmed there was a flag on the field. And then they said the flag was picked up.
Yeah, they're like, oh, never mind, there's no flag.
Yeah.
So,
but, they said, Jim said there's a flag on the field. Tony Romo said, no, there's no flag on the field. And then they had it confirmed that there was a flag on the field.
Yeah.
So that was where, I kind of had that hiccup. Maybe something happened. And I just wanted the Chiefs fans' perspective.
To be fair, we see stuff like this. There's stuff like that in every game, but when it happens to Chiefs, I'm just saying. I was at a big Eagles family for the Eagles-Commanders game, and my dad's a diehard Commanders fan. And there were so many calls that the Eagles got that the Commanders didn't get, but no one talks about it because it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
But just because the Chiefs were in prime time, all eyes were on that game.
Yeah.
Everyone was. There were so many calls. Like, A.J. Brown took off Lattimore's helmet, and they penalized Lattimore
they only
for
gave
it.
Lattimore the
but,
call.
Not a single
that was
peep.
missed.
I haven't heard a single peep about that. So,
And
I think
you can find something from every game.
But I think those conversations really come in when it's a close game like this. Like, this is a one-possession game. With the Eagles game, I don't care how many calls it is. That was a 30-point deficit. People aren't going to pick apart a 30-point deficit as much as they are a one-possession game that's won at the end of regulation.
100%, but the play it was a one-possession game, I think, when A.J. Brown did that. It was still in the first half.
But that's why post-game, it's not being talked about like this.
And then when you look at both these games and you compare them side by side, people they know the history of refs and the Chiefs. If there is a history there, they know that's happened. So they're looking for something, right? They're not really looking for that in the Eagles game.
Social media also promotes that as well.
Yeah. Well, to sum everything up into, one statement from this Chiefs-Bills game, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are a Hallmark movie that's gone on way too long, okay? Yeah, it was fun the first year, okay? I got tired of seeing them a little bit. We were just talking about this before the show, okay? I like watching him rebuild the small town and save the bakery from foreclosure. I don't like them doing their taxes together, okay, and sleeping in the same bed, okay? I don't want to see the full life
The
of
art.
Travis Kelce. I don't need that. I don't want a Travis Kelce biopic, okay? I was happy with the first time. So, there's only one man that can save us now, and no, it's not Jalen Hurts. It is Saquon Barkley. That is the one man who can save us from
Saquon for MVP.
Travis Taylor Part 2. Okay, and that's who we're going to be going into.
Kelsey's going to propose
right
on the
after
field.
this break. No, he's not. No, he's not. It's not going to happen. We're going to talk about why it's not going to happen right after this break. We'll see you right after this.
Hello. So I guess the crew's getting ready for the next segment on one of our amazing shows. I'm Nick Cohen, host of season 20 of Hitting the Field, and let me tell you about those amazing shows. On behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content, but I'm here to tell you about everything else we offer here at the network. Mondays at 4, HTF Bets goes live for Season 10 with 3 gamblers that, although it may not always seem like it, are here to help us all earn a little bit of extra money while we watch sports. Diego Ortiz, Tyler Brownrigg, and Andrew Gregg's ball knowledge and fun personalities make this show a fan favorite. On Tuesdays, you all loved it, so we brought it back for Season 2. It's Girls Got Game, hosted by Frankie Noble, a show blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next is everyone's favorite sports podcast, The Combine, hosted by who other than Ty Patton, an easygoing, conversational, and technical podcast dropping Wednesdays, also on Spotify at The Combine. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for the network's main show, Season 20 of Hitting the Field, hosted by me. Here, we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure. We love some football, basketball, hockey, F1. We also cover baseball, soccer, and we even have to show the UFC love sometimes. Penultimately, TGIF, because Friday is nighttime, hosted by Kathleen Moore and Matthew Bracker. Season 8 of Nighttime is where you'll turn to for all things March Madness, UCF sports, and other collegiate events. We're ending with something brand new. HTFN has never had 6 shows running at once. Also filmed in our new podcast studio is HTFC, hosted by Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon. Football, or soccer in America, is the most popular sport in the world. Across multiple leagues and cups, soccer is a year-round sport, and HTFC is your news source to stay updated. Also on Spotify, by the way, at HTFC. Outside of our 6-show roster, be sure to tune in to our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog, run by our vlog squad of Brianna St. Jean, Michaela Croker, Ashley Rowe, and Ben Huber. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram, Facebook, and X to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe right here on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I'm Nick Cohen. Thank you for your continued support, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And we're back after what felt like forever in studio, having to live with the fact that we have Chiefs-Eagles again. Okay, 3 years ago we said, hey, there's one Super Bowl we don't need to happen, okay? It's Chiefs and it's Eagles. We don't need that. Can't happen. What happened? Chiefs-Eagles. Next year, there's one Super Bowl that can't happen, okay? Chiefs-Niners. What happened? Chiefs-Niners. And then we had another one this year. We said there's one Super Bowl that can't happen. What is it? Chiefs-Eagles. What happened?
Chiefs-Eagles.
Chiefs-Eagles. So you know what's going to happen next year?
What's going to happen?
Panthers-Titans.
Ugh.
Can't happen. It's going to happen anyways.
Better than Chiefs-Eagles.
Yeah, probably actually. Bryce Young and Mayonnaise Man.
Mayo Man Levis?
Yeah, dude. Mayo Man Levis. You saw he has a mayo cologne now?
That's disgusting.
It is. It's
That's
disgusting.
almost worse than the Miller Lite.
Part of me
Pringles.
feels like if that guy ran out of food, he'd just eat his own supply. His cologne.
he's
He'd just
got
start
a
eating
lifetime
it.
supply.
Oh, dude. Mayonnaise and a spoon. That's that guy's cottage cheese. He likes it a lot. He just tears that thing up, dude.
Disgusting.
So gross. Anyways, this is Ben Huber. We're here with Ben Huber to talk about the Super Bowl. Ben Huber, longtime Combine guest, one of the best in the business.
Thank you.
Hey, there was a comprehensive list of HTF guests put out by an anonymous list, group at HTF. And okay, it said number 1, Ty Patton. Okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It said number 2, Ben Huber. But then there was an arrow that said, hey, we messed him up. Ben Huber's above Ty Patton. Okay,
High praise.
Hey, very high praise.
I'm honored, honestly.
Hey,
Do I need to prepare a speech or something?
I mean, maybe. Come on again. Bring a speech. Talk about Mayo Man and NFL and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Just manly stuff.
Manly stuff.
We were talking about manly stuff. We'll go into that in another episode. Anyways, as you can see on the TV behind us, it's Eagles and it's the Chiefs. Okay, it's something we weren't expecting. We probably should have figured with the colors of the logo. That's usually how it plays now.
Yeah.
But we're in for quite an interesting matchup, okay? Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the boys in red take on Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and maybe the most productive offense of 2024.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite a matchup.
America's 0 for 2 in hate watching this week. It sucks. The only person that's happy about it is Elijah McClary. That's really it.
Hey, you got a good point. Hey, I was hate watching.
I was totally hate watching.
I was hate
It's hard
watching.
being a Dolphins fan having to root for the Bills, but
Yeah.
I had to. I was like, there's no other way.
I was really hoping that a meteor came down and struck the field, at the end of those games, and everybody lived.
Of course.
No, nothing bad happened, but they just said, hey, Pat Mahomes, you are going to be sidelined for no injuries, but you're going to be sidelined for testing or something for like 2 weeks, so we need another team.
He's radioactive
hey,
or something.
Lamar, let's come back out of retirement, okay? Get back out here. Tom Brady, where you at?
Where you at?
Would have been a good game.
It would have.
But instead, we got this one, and it's still going to be a good game. We got some stuff to look forward to, right?
Excited for the Taylor Swift challenge again.
Oh, dude.
Take some drinks when Taylor Swift
Hey,
comes on the screen.
different story before we go into it. What about the Kick at Destiny 3? Peyton Manning,
What's
Eli
that
Manning.
all about?
So every year, FanDuel does kick. They set up a field goal,
Sure.
and they kick. And the last 2 years, it was Gronk. And you could bet on whether or not he was going to make
That's
it.
right. I did see that.
Gronk did it, and then they said, hey, let's go get a celebrity. Let's get Trace Adkins to do this, or Luke Bryan. And then they go, you know what? We can't find anybody. Gronk, you're going to do it again. he did it again. This year, they have it where you can pick which Manning you want to do it. So you can pick Peyton or Eli, and then you bet on if he makes it or not. So it's a little, there's an extra layer of this onion that they're peeling, okay?
I kind of want Eli.
You want Eli?
I think Eli's got it.
I don't know. I feel
was
like
destined to be a
Forehead
kicker.
Man could really put that thing to the uprights.
Maybe.
Anyways, we're back to the topic at hand, okay? Chiefs, Eagles, start this thing off hot. Saquon Barkley, right? 2,000 yards, less than 150 from breaking Eric Dickerson's record, could have easily cemented himself with the best year for any running back in history.
Yeah.
But he gave Dickerson the praise, said, hey, you're the guy. I'm going to sit week 18, whether that was a team or coaching decision or maybe his own. But moves into the postseason, NFC Championship, 3 rushing touchdowns, as we mentioned previously. And now he goes into a Kansas City game where I have to admit they have a very solid run game, but against James Cook allowed 2 rushing touchdowns. What do you think we expect from Saquon in the Super Bowl?
I mean, we kind of expect him to go off, but at the same time, I think that the Chiefs defense is kind of apt to stopping the explosive plays that he brings. So I also saw that he has a chance to break Terrell Davis's record.
Really?
It's like most rushing yards in a regular season plus postseason.
Yeah.
And dude, if he breaks that, I mean, best free agent signing of all time.
Has to be.
Think so.
Has to be. And I feel like such a goof saying it, but, you got to stand on business and admit your faults. At the beginning of the year, we were talking about Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, and we both said, me and whoever else it was, maybe Nick Cohen, we're like, maybe the steam runs out a little bit. Because, you combine him with Jalen Hurts, a rushing quarterback. He's going to take some of that away.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No.
He did not. Saquon got better.
They both revitalized the running back position.
Yes.
They made it better than it's ever been in the last 5 years.
And actually, as much as you want to hate because you were wrong, I can't even hate, dude.
No,
I really like watching it.
It
I
is.
really
It's
like
exciting.
watching it. It really is.
Smash Mouth football. I mean, doesn't get
I
better than
love
that,
the good
man.
old days of
Come
Smash
on.
Mouth football, dude. I love it.
I saw the Bills had a drive last
Yeah.
night where they ran the ball almost every single play and they
Yep.
scored. That
Yep.
was that right there.
That's
I
peak
was like,
football.
I was watching it,
That's
eyes
peak
wide open.
football.
Oh, it's the best.
I love watching Josh Allen do
Gets
his
you
thing. but
romantic, man. You know?
It
It's
does.
just-
Hey, I'm feeling romantical watching Josh Allen play football. That guy's awesome. Can't believe Haley Steinfeld stole my spot.
Talk about good-looking quarterbacks.
Yeah, right. Staying on the same token, though, outside of Saquon Barkley, we know he's going to be a force. If the Chiefs can manage to hold him, you got to fall back on Jalen Hurts, maybe the QB run game, but namely the QB passing game, right? You got to get A.J. Brown involved. You got to get Devontae Smith involved. You got to get Dallas Goedert involved, maybe even Jahan Dotson. Do you think that passing game can kind of find its footing? Because, over the past number of games, Jalen Hurts has had a stat that whenever he falls short of, I believe, 220 passing yards, they win. And every time he goes over, they struggle. It's either a one score game or they lose.
He broke it yesterday.
He did.
That was pretty impressive. I did not think he was going to put up that many passing yards, but he threw the ball. They leaned on him. He made some really good throws. I mean, granted, his guys were wide open on most of them, but I mean, they leaned on him. He threw the ball and he threw it well. So,
and you know what I think happened last time? Yesterday. I think they just got so far ahead that they had the room to take risks.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, any given Sunday when you give him the ball, you got to find a way to get Saquon open. You got to find a way to let him pick up yards. And Hurts can make something happen if you really need him to. But I mean, they just got comfortable. It felt like Jalen Hurts really had a grip on the steering wheel, and he was really commanding the offense yesterday, which is very good to see. Because I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. I think he, definitely could fit the bit. But like watching him yesterday, you could argue he was top 5. He had a great game. Just solely based off of that. On the flip side, we have the best. I don't want to say the best yet. Arguably the best head coach of all time in Andy Reid. If he wins this Super Bowl, he is undoubtedly the best head coach of all time.
I think he's top 3. I don't know.
Top 3?
I mean, yeah, I think already he's top 3. I don't know if I guess a three-peat is we've never seen it before.
No.
I don't know. You got to give him his flowers, I guess.
But also,
that makes sense.
I started thinking about this the other day. Thinking back on the last 6 Super Bowls that we've had from 2020, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 2020, Chiefs were in it.
Yeah.
2021, Chiefs were in it. 2022, they missed. 3 straight years they've been. 5 of the last 6 years, the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. You don't get there without
No.
one of the best head coaches in the world. And I mean, you can say Bill Belichick, obviously tremendous head coach, but he didn't get there in 5 years of 6. Like, that is unheard of. And I mean, Elijah McClary is really just, sitting there smug, enjoying himself
it for
right now.
granted, man.
He's just enjoying himself right now. And I mean,
That's the power of the
rightfully
bundle
so.
Rooski.
The bundle Rooski. I hate that commercial. I hate it. Bundle Rooski, bundle Rooski. Oh my God. Hey, Elijah McClary, how much money did they have to pay Andy Reid to get on that commercial? How much money do you think they had to give that head coach to appear on a State Farm commercial?
I was thinking that's the most expressive I've ever seen Andy Reid.
Oh, dude.
It had to be a lot. But it is interesting, the one time he does speak up, everyone's so annoyed of it. That's the most I've ever seen him talk, and people can't stand it.
It's the worst.
I'm not even dogging on him. I like the guy.
Yeah, I do.
He's
No,
funny.
it's super obnoxious. The commercial was super overplayed.
Oh, bundle Rooski,
Yeah.
bundle Rooski.
I will
It's
say
kinda one of those things.
The thing with Bill Belichick and Andy Reid is Bill Belichick had the worst personality of all time.
All time.
He gave you reasons to not like him. Yeah. Andy Reid is, outside of Bundle Rooski, is one of the most likable guys there is.
Yeah.
Dressed up as Santa Claus. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He just wants to eat a burger after the Super Bowl. I mean, this guy is a true American hero.
I love it. It's so fun to watch, right? Next to him, though, we have maybe arguably the most disliked duo in sports history. Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes. Close second behind Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, but we're not going to talk about that.
I knew that was coming.
I mean, you knew it was coming. These two are remarkable. I mean, you really, you can't say enough about what they're able to do. I do too. I despise it. Oh my God. If there was a reset button where I could go back to 2018 and convince the Chiefs to not draft Patrick Mahomes, I would give a quarter of my life away. I would give 25 years up if a demon showed up.
You know
right
what
now
the worst part? The worst part is that the Bills traded and gave the Chiefs the pick drafted Pat Mahomes.
I know.
The Bills could have had
Why do they
Mahomes.
always do that?
And they did it again.
And they did it with
How do you not learn from your mistakes?
It's so bad.
So bad. It's really, really bad. But you got Pat Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce. Obviously, Hollywood Brown's coming into his own. He's starting to find his rhythm. D-Hop
Some of these guys as role players are just making impact.
Very viable option, D-Hop is. And then Xavier Worthy, who has been such a stud. And I mean, we knew it from the moment he was drafted to Kansas City. We knew they gave them the next Tyreek Hill. We knew he was going to be special. And that's the worst part about it, is when you know right from the jump, from the start.
This guy's going to be a force.
Yes. And here we are again.
So annoying.
So, against a Philly defense that is very, very good, but also kind of young in the secondary, do we think the Chiefs can take advantage of that? Do you think the Eagles' DBs slip up a little bit and Xavier Worthy finds that seam? D-Hop gets open one too many times. Travis Kelce finds that open space and Zach Bond is somewhere else, rushing the pass or something. Do we think the Chiefs and Andy Reid can come up with a playbook and an offense good enough to outwit the Eagles.
I think, eventually it's going to happen. There's going to be guys that get open. They're going to score their touchdowns. I think it's just about if the Eagles offense can, keep up with them.
So are you suggesting that we're in for a shootout?
I wouldn't necessarily say a shootout, to be honest with you. I think they're gonna get a few touchdowns, but I don't think it's gonna be very high scoring.
No.
I think when it gets to the fourth quarter, the defenses are getting pretty tired. That's when there's probably gonna be more scoring. But I'd say it's probably gonna be pretty tame for the first few quarters. Maybe like 10-10 at the half, something like that.
So you're saying the under's gonna hit and fourth quarter over's gonna hit, almost like you could bundle them. Bundle risky. I'm not letting that shit. I'm not letting it go. I'm not gonna let it go.
It's. I don't know what's better, the Bundle Rooski or the Peyton.
Oh, Peyton is so funny. I love that commercial. You know what commercial I love? Have you seen the Andy Reid, Dan Campbell Applebee's commercial?
Yeah, that one's good.
I love that one too. That one's so good.
They're gonna steal your order.
Do you want to try Applebee's new 50-cent boneless wings?
And they go, we'll take that.
They'll steal your order.
I love that commercial, dude. Dan Campbell, he's looking at the Employee of the Month badge, and he's like, "You're gonna be mine."
Take some kneecaps in the process.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did that in his free time. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Campbell just, worked at a Chili's, and just, wanted that Employee of the Month.
Serving shots.
Regardless, before we get out of here, your pick, sir, for the Super Bowl winner. Who do you got?
I can't go against the Chiefs. I think they're gonna win.
Tough sledding. I don't like it. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I know where this next one's going. I'm gonna pick the Eagles. And finally, Elijah McClary, my producer in the room. Who do you got, my friend?
Who do you think?
Jeez.
No. I'm being real. I think that I just want to see history happen. I want to see them get the three-peat.
I don't want to see the Chiefs win. I want to see history happen. As the guy sitting here in his Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl jersey.
No, of course I want to see the Chiefs win.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing an Eagles jersey.
It's natural.
Right
whatever.
Okay.
I mean, it happens.
Oh man, I'm not a. I don't even know how to feel.
I don't remember this Super Bowl, and I just Taylor Swift comes on the screen about like 15 times. I'm on the couch at the end of the game.
That's the one thing we can't happen, If there's any way we can close this show, and wrap this thing up, the one thing that we cannot have happen is the Chiefs win, the lights shine brightest as Taylor Swift walks down the stairs and Travis Kelce reaches into his pants pocket, pulls out a ring, says, "Taylor Swift, let's get married so we can get divorced. You can write an album about me." Okay. That's what we can't have happen.
No.
Because then all of a sudden,
it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, you're going to pump out a few little travelings. And it's just going to be over, dude. It's going to be over for everybody. ESPN is going to be flooded with that content. NFL is going to turn to a beauty page. And it's going to be over. Everything we've worked so hard to not build is going to be.
The world, as
it's going to slip through our fingers.
Crashing down.
It is. It's a different time.
That'll be the fall of American society.
Travis Kelce,
it will crumble from within. We're no better than the Romans.
No more infrastructure, dude. It's just
over.
gone. The economy it doesn't exist
Once
anymore.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have a kid, it's over. Say goodbye to Western society.
Oh, dude. Oh, it's bad. But anyways, that is all we have for the Combine this week. We may be back next week on a traditional Wednesday. If not, we're looking at a Thursday. HTF has quite an interesting Super Bowl show ahead of us. And
hyped. Let's go.
The way things are shaping up, Combine's going to take a trip back down memory lane. Maybe back to an old setting. Maybe back to some old cameras. Maybe back to an old place. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood or whatever you want to say.
It's near and dear to our hearts.
It is. It hits home just enough.
That couch, dudes naming dudes.
Dudes naming dudes.
Super Bowl edition.
We'll see how it plays. We might be back next Wednesday. If not, we're looking at a Thursday, and that is all the time we have for the Combine. Thank you, Ben Huber. Thank you, even though she's not here, to Kathleen Moore. Thank you to G. Edgar and Elijah McClary, our producers, sitting over in the chairs, and we will see you all next week.